Police in Tehran hit back with tear gas at stone-throwing students who took part in a third day of nationwide protests against government. At least 50 people have arrested since the protests began on Thursday in Mashhad, the country's second-largest city, in what has been the most serious challenge to the Islamic Republic since demonstrations following the disputed 2009 presidential election. There was chaos around the University of Tehran on Saturday as several hundred people scuffled with police and shouted slogans against the regime for several hours, bringing traffic to a standstill. Students protest inside Tehran University with riot police retaliating using tear gas. Vehicles burning on the streets of Tehran as the wave of protests continued into the night. The protests are the largest in Iran since demonstrations following the disputed 2009 presidential election. Iranian students run for cover from tear gas at the University of Tehran during the demonstration. Pictures also show burning vehicles in the streets of Tehran as the protests continued into the night, with Telecoms Minister Mohammad Javad Azari Yaromi accusing a popular television station of encouraging the use of Molotov cocktails, armed uprising, and social unrest. Videos shared by social media users outside Iran claim to show thousands marching peacefully in several cities including Khorramabad, Zanjan and Ahwaz, with chants of death to the dictator, in reference to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. But the regime also put on a show of strength, with hundreds of counter-demonstrators seizing control of the university entrance in Tehran, chanting death to the seditionists. Rocks were thrown at police as anti-government students protested at the University of Tehran but were outnumbered by conservative classmates who shouted death to the seditionists and took control of the campus entrance. Earlier, some 4,000 pro-regime demonstrators had gathered at the Musalla prayer ground in the center of Tehran, calling for criminal trials for the leaders of the anti-government Green Movement. Protesters shouting slogans against Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei by the gates of Tehran University. Police vehicles seen near the scene of the protest at Tehran University as the protests continue for a third day. Students clashed with police at the University of Tehran on Saturday after hardliners had rallied to support the government. The Iranian government warned against illegal gatherings and said people needed to apply for a permit first as students protested at the university. A video on social media showed students chanting death to the dictator, an apparent reference to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Iranian hardliners had rallied earlier on Saturday to support the government and Supreme Leader following protests over the Islamic Republic's ailing economy. Iran's Interior Minister warned people against taking part in unlawful gatherings, saying they needed to apply for a permit first. 3 University of Tehran students were arrested, according to a government official. The pro-regime demonstrations had been scheduled weeks ago but took on new significance after the protests began on Thursday, sparked by social media posts and a surge in prices for basic food supplies.